Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for House of the Dragon, Episode 9.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews.
Don't make me destroy you.
So, moving on from the fantastic episode last week featuring the end of King Viserys, the unfortunate, untimely death of King Viserys, and the passing of Paddy Considine out of the series. What a shame. We move into the next phase, and obviously we saw at the back end of episode 8, Queen Alicent basically received some news from King Viserys that was aimed at Rhaenyra, that she has taken upon herself to mean that he always wanted his son Aegon to take the throne, and that is the basis for this episode. So full spoilers ahead, obviously. But yeah, so in this episode it basically becomes a battle of two people, Queen Alicent and her own father, played wonderfully by Rhys Ifans. Again, he's fantastic in this series. He plays it so bloody well, without really revealing too much in his facial expressions and basically in his movement. He's very still. I like it. I love it. But yeah, so essentially, moves are made to basically usurp the throne from Rhaenyra. People argue, people refuse, and it all goes a bit sort of crazy. It all goes a bit wrong. Aegon's nowhere to be found. The Lothario that he is, he's fucked off. He's gone somewhere. He's having a whale of a time in Flea Bottom, and Alicent sends the knobhead Sir Criston to go and find him, along with Eye Patch McGee, the pirate son, to go and find him as well. All the while, Rhys Ifans' character, he sends two gold cloaks to go and get him under cover of normal guys, twins as well, to be correct. Have we seen these characters before? I feel like we have, but obviously they're only third wheel characters. But it's an interesting sort of thing, and we have this sort of chase, if you like. Not exactly a chase, but like a rush to find Aegon. And it's played really well because it's still focusing on the interfamilial politics. And we have this idea that, one side, if Rhys Ifans obtains Aegon first, he's going to get in his ear and basically say, look, to solidify your throne, you're going to have to kill Rhaenyra. You're going to have to kill what is essentially your own half-sister. You're going to have to wipe out her family. Whereas Alicent on the other side is like, no, I don't want to kill Rhaenyra, and that's why she wants to get hold of him first, in order to sort of like say, nah, we're not going to do it this way. We're not going to kill anyone. You're going to rule, and we're going to go to Rhaenyra and propose like a truce. Interesting enough, we don't see anything of Rhaenyra in this episode. We don't see anything of Matt Smith. It is literally Alicent's episode, and Rhys Ifans' episode, and it's that sort of dueling dynamic that sort of it brings us away from what was a very emotionally charged, very personal episode into a very, very much more political episode in this. But the performances right the way through are solid again. It looks superb, and we get to the point where a number of characters are put in positions where they ultimately don't really want to be. We hear from Alicent's youngest son, whose name escapes me, that he's like, well, why is Aegon king? Why does he get to be king? He's got no interest in this kind of stuff, whereas I do. I've been training, I've been battling, I have the biggest dragon in the world. Why not never find Aegon? Why not, let me let me rule instead. And there's that interesting sort of nugget of possible future elements that they could explore. You know, a war between brothers, not just a war between Alicent and Rhaenyra, if that comes to fruition. The overriding sense that I got from this is that poor bloody Viserys, they call him Viserys the Peaceful in this, his legacy is going to be completely fucking destroyed. And that's the thing with this episode, is we get that sense that nobody really took on board what Viserys wanted, because things have got lost in translation, mistakes have been made, Alicent's heard something that wasn't meant for her, and yet she's ploughing ahead because she believes it wholeheartedly. And there's only one person who actually questions, you know, whether Viserys would have changed his mind in such a way, and he gets his head stoved in by Sir Criston, who's an absolute fucking knobhead. Interestingly enough, the leader of the Gold Cloaks, of the King's Guard, he refuses. Basically, Rhys Ifans' character orders him to go to Dragonstone with all his might and do the deed. And he refuses, removes his cloak and vanishes. And I was immediately thought of Sir Barristan Selmy, an older guy, an older King's Guard man, someone you know you shouldn't fuck around with. And hopefully we see him again. Hopefully he does go to Rhaenyra and, you know, joins their side, if you like. But this side, this episode in particular, I think we get more of a sense of who the unlikable characters are, who are the characters we're rooting for, who are the characters we don't want to succeed in this. And I think we're getting to that stage where we're starting to unpick who we'd like to lose, which is dangerous in the world of Game of Thrones, because whenever you pick a side, whenever you pick someone, whenever you think, oh, that person doesn't deserve anything, they deserve to die, more often than not, we've been thrown twists, and those people end up succeeding. There's a lot to unpack in this episode. Coming towards the end of the episode, everyone's ushered in, so they do like a weird sort of forcing of people into is it where the dragons reside? I can't remember what they bloody call it, but they do a massive ceremony there where Aegon is crowned. Huge ceremony, everyone's there, everyone's ushered in, and the wife of Viserys' sister, who is still in King's Landing at this point, she was locked in her room. She's assisted to get out and get out of King's Landing, and she gets swamped by the crowds, and they're all ushered in together into this massive room. It looks almost like an inverted Colosseum. It's huge, and I'm guessing that it's where all the dragons reside underneath. And while she's in there, she fucks off. She sneaks down, and you're like, okay, we know what's going to happen here. And as King Aegon's crowned, and you see him, feel that ruffle of, excitement of being crowned king. And funnily enough, I had like a weird sort of like thought where Aegon reminds me of Commodus from Gladiator. That snivelling, weaselly, horrible little bastard who doesn't deserve anything and yet's given the most powerful seat in the realm. It reminds me of Commodus, and if it's played as well as Commodus was in, say, Gladiator, we could get a sense when we ultimately really despise this character. I think that's where we might be going. But needless to say, the sister of Viserys, again, name escapes me. I'm still struggling with names at this point. Sometimes it's a bit of an issue. She burst through the floor where all these thousands of people are stood. She burst through the floor on a massive red dragon, and loads of people die. It's quite clear. Loads of people die. Loads of civilians who were just there to cheer on the new king. Hey, we didn't even want to be here, but we're going to cheer anyway because we're terrified. It's a show of power. And yeah, this dragon just blasts through. It looks brilliant. It's all dark and miserable, and you're rooting for her to save Dracarys, and she doesn't for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. She could end everything right there. It's a bit of a weird moment The dragon screams. Everyone screams at Alicent, screams at Rhys Ifans' character, screams at Aegon, screams at Sir Nobed Criston, and you're hoping Sage Dracarys, because you end everything there, and then Rhaenyra can ascend to the throne, no issues. I don't know why she leaves, and hopefully we'll get a sense of that going forward. But she leaves on this dragon, she fucks off completely, crushes a few people as she leaves through these massive doors, and there we go. It ends. The episode ends. So, it's a much more politically based episode. Not many pieces move, and yet a lot happens, really. So, it's interesting to see where we go from here. The finale is this coming week, and obviously we're going to possibly get some friggin' retribution, I reckon, from Rhaenyra, because like I said, pointedly, Rhaenyra does not feature in this episode at all. So I'm going to hazard a guess that the first thing we see in the finale is Rhaenyra absolutely flipping her shit. But again, same thing as always. The character drama is rising. It's good. This is not sort of as impactful an episode as the last episode and the episode before that, but we do get a decent sense of what is happening within the realm, where the characters are going, and we get a weird foot fetish scene from that weird limpy guy, again whose name escapes me, who is now the hand. Oh, he's not the Hand of the King, is he? He's just some weird guy. The Sparrow guy, the one who's doing all the fucking, hunting and looking for people, and yeah, he's bargain basement Littlefinger. Yeah, he's got a massive foot fetish with Alicent apparently, and whenever he wants information, whenever she wants information, that is, and he gives it to her, there's this weird sort of thing where she reveals a bit more of her feet. It's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. But yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that because it's weird. Of all the things we see in Game of Thrones, it's not exactly the most over-sexualized moment. It's not exactly the most violent moment, but it's a bit of a creepy sort of like, oh god, kind of moment. But if you're into that, you're into that. Fair play. And he clearly is, because he does Roger himself something furiously come the end of that scene. But there you go. I'm going to leave this review there. And this episode, it wasn't quite as heartfelt or as impactful as the previous, but it's a solid 8 out of 10, I think. But there you go. I'm going to leave it there. 8 out of 10. Cannot wait for the finale. Surprised this series has actually grabbed me in the way it did. And you can watch my previous reviews to see the journey of acceptance after the horror of Game of Thrones finale. But here we are, House of the Dragon. Finale's coming, and a review will come for that as well. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more reviews and opinions. Bye bye.